Hello, this is Clemmy Games and welcome to a first look at Space Tyrant, a simplified 5x turn-based strategy game which actually plays more like a board game developed by Blue Wizard Digital and released into Steam Early Access in July 2017. For disclosure, I received this game for free. Blue Wizard Digital is the developer behind one of my top 10 indie games of last year at Stay Away Camp, a puzzle game which pays tribute to slasher flicks. What I loved about the game is the puzzling, but in particular, I do love the theme of the game, which really hands up the campiness of such films. In Space Tyrant, I can see how the same reverence is given to the source material of space strategy 4X games, but the developer has streamlined some of the more clunky aspects of the genre and added in some of their humor, which is very much to my taste, and as a result, I do like Space Tyrant and am eagerly awaiting its full release. You play as the eponymous Space Tyrant, whose underlying motive is to sow galactic chaos for the sake of simple amusement. However, after having been insulted by an ambassador from the Astron Imperium, making demands such as to stop meddling with vassal empires, to respect galactic order, and to pay space parking tickets, the Space Tyrant decides to crush the Imperium for its insolence. However, rather than direct might, the Space Tyrant instead decides to reach his mind out to the stars to find a civilization suitable to do his dirty work, and this is where we begin with the Hoplite Plants, who, curiously enough, are led by Stonehair, a space marine with bunny ears because, of course, it is due to the hop in Hoplite. I do like me some puns, so 2 thumbs up on that one. In addition to the 4 X's of 4X games, namely Explore, Exploit, Expand, and Exterminate, Space Tyrant adds Exsanguinate to the list, which, after looking it up, is the process of blood loss to the point of death. While not exactly an in-game mechanic, this nevertheless fits in with the theme. The game has 2 major components, namely the strategy phase, which plays like a board game, and the real-time space combat phase, in which fleets of ships clash. In each mission, the objective is displayed at the top of the screen, which includes controlling 60% of the planets on the map, capturing a particular structure, controlling X number of crystals, or to hoard Y amount of gold as examples. To accomplish this, you have hero characters which lead their own fleet, something like the system in Heroes of Might and Magic or King's Bounty. Each fleet has 1 movement point per turn, allowing the fleet to move onto another location. Controlled planets do give you resources such as gold, crystal, or research. Gold is the most straightforward resource since you require a certain amount of it to purchase ships on friendly planets. Crystals are individual locations on the map that you control, each adding 1 crystal to the counter at the bottom right. These give you the capacity to play cards from your hand, and crystals do regenerate every turn. Finally, research is one of the more interesting ones in the game, since when the counter is full, you do get a breakthrough, which allows you to unlock more powerful traits and abilities for specific classes of ships, increasing their HP, damage, or even special attributes, such as increasing the number of fighters that carriers launch. If there is an enemy fleet orbiting a planet, moving onto that space will trigger the real-time space combat, in which ships automatically fire at each other until one fleet is destroyed. Your input in the battle is to manage energy and skill usage, indicated by the lightning bolts on the screen. Ships have abilities such as Meteor Strike or Volley, which directly attacks enemy ships, Shield Wall, Regeneration, and even Boarding Party, which sends a squad of marines onto an enemy ship, causing damage over time. While simplified, the battle system here was just interesting enough, and it was fun to watch ships blow each other up. Heroes do also get XP for winning each battle, and upon leveling up, their innate ability becomes more powerful, and the size of the fleet that the hero controls is also increased. However, hero levels only last for the mission, and will reset to level 1 when beginning a new mission. Going back to the strategy portion, if the target planet is not under your control, you can choose to invade it, at which point you must roll dice to whittle down the defenses of the planet, which is very board game-like. Under normal circumstances, you only get 1 roll of the invasion dice per turn, and failing to invade does mean that the planet remains out of your control, but its defenses are permanently lowered. A successful invasion automatically triggers an exploration event, which generally involves having you to make a choice in a very FTL kind of way, other than directly affecting the game through events which cause you to lose ships or ones which grant you resources. These choices can also give you traits. which may unlock additional options in future random events. For example, I chose to sit down and negotiate with the king of a conquered world, and while this did give me the diplomatic trait, the noble laughed at my offer to talk and mocked my claim to the galaxy, harming my reputation and leading to an increase in the unrest level. Speaking of unrest, there is a tyranny meter on the right side of the UI, which is measured by the greenish meter, which, of course, increases when you do tyrannical things such as capturing planets or destroying ships. The highlighted red area at the bottom of the bar is an indication of the unrest in the galaxy. This reduces your tyranny level by the amount of unrest per turn, and if the meter reaches 0, you will lose the game. At high amounts of tyranny, you unlock the Death Ray ability, which consumes some tyranny for the opportunity to destroy 1 to 3 enemy ships in a fleet, possibly making your next battle much easier. This meter did push things along in ensuring that you had to be constantly on the offensive, attacking enemy fleets and laying siege to their planets, which I thought was a pretty smart way to prevent hunkering down and turtling. I did previously mention cards in the game, which does definitely suit my playstyle. You draw 1 card per turn from a deck, and these cards cost crystals to play. Effects here include increasing your resource generation, adding ships to your fleet, and scouting to reveal planets. But more importantly, there are effects such as allowing you to lay siege to a planet again, trigger another exploration event, teleport 1 fleet back to your home planet, and even to allow every fleet to travel another space in that turn. Now, I am a big fan of board games, and in particular, am drawn to the Euro-style board game, which depends more on thinking and strategizing rather than luck. This means a minimal amount of dice rolling, but in cases where you do have to roll dice, you usually have some avenue to alter the outcome, such as adding to your dice roll figure or to re-roll if necessary. Cards in Space Tyrant fulfill this specific role since they do give you the option to execute your plan of attack for the turn. There is an overarching meta layer to the game as well, seen through the Tyrant command screen. Here, there are several different space systems to select missions from, with the impetus here being to take down the Galactic Senate. In order to do so, you must complete smaller missions in the other systems, while not allowing Senate control to spread, since losing a system to the Senate means that you will lose the campaign. Beating missions will award you with permanent perks, artifacts, new heroes, and new cards that will last for the entire campaign, and it is a wonderful progression system to feel like you are slowly increasing the power of the faction chosen. Speaking of factions, there are 3 to choose from. Firstly, we have the Hoplite Dynasty, which have tough ships and are for all intents and purposes Space Marines. The Berserk Union is a race of insects, and perhaps the most innovatively named one as the Techno Slug Party. I feel like this is a cheeky homage to StarCraft since we do have the parallels to Tyrant, Zerg, and Protoss respectively, which I thought was pretty neat. These factions should differ in ships available, hero skills, perks, cards, artifacts, and many more, which should provide the critical variety in content. While the game is in early access, it does seem to be largely complete, with the addition of new unlocks as the main thing that the developers are aiming for. In its current state, 2 out of the 3 campaigns are available, with the next one set to drop within the week or so. Campaigns do have procedurally generated elements as well, so there should be some replayability here. The targeted early access period is 3 to 6 months, and there seems to be a steady stream of updates. My experience with Blue Wizard Digital thus far has been pretty positive, so I would trust them to do this well. Decent chunk of content in the game, and from my experience with Space Tyrant so far, I have to say that I really liked it and can't wait to play more. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.